Hi there, I'm Namisha Patel Owen, and you're listening to Live Your True Self, episode number 85. After 18 years doing corporate, in 2018, it became about doing me, doing what I love. Not that long ago, I too felt a deep desire to be something more, asking myself, who am I anyway, and what's my purpose? Full of self-doubt and fear of failure, fast forward to this moment and you'll see a version of me that's true to myself, calm, confident and clearer than ever before despite the drama. Inspired by Krishna's words in the Bhagavad Gita, one must deliver himself with the help of the mind and not degrade himself. The mind is the friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy as well. So perspective is everything. No matter where you are on your personal growth journey as a high achiever, I'm here to guide you. Together, we'll step out of your head, the busyness in your mind, and drop into your heart, the space where lasting transformation begins, so that you too can awaken your true self and live life more meaningfully in this moment, even in the messiness. Take a deep breath and listen on in. Welcome back, beautiful soul. Thank you for being here. A wise monk once said, "In the stillness of writing, you meet yourself." Today, we're diving into something practical that's become such an integral part of my work and my life. And I believe it can be for you too. We're talking about the joy of journaling, why journal, and how to practice it. I'm sharing 5 different journaling practices, talking about why it works and sharing my thoughts, and offering some simple ways for you to get started right away. And some context which will help. This topic actually came up because one of my amazing clients recently asked me if I could share more about journaling, and she was saying that I hear you talk about journal on it and meditate on it, but how do you actually practice it? And I thought, you know what? This would be such a valuable conversation to bring here to the podcast. So that's what we're doing. And it's built on actually a class that I taught on journaling in the group coaching program that I offer. But this is a more recent and up-to-date version of my thinking. And to be honest, journaling has been something I've been practicing for a long time. I have copious amounts of notebooks and journals that I write on, and sometimes honestly it varies from really thought through notebooks and what each notebook is about, and other times it's post-its and scrap pieces of paper, and I've even used some of my children's old exercise books where they had pages left and no longer needed, and so I just used paper and pen and got to work. But journaling is something that I'm practicing every single day, particularly and with more intention perhaps this month as part of Mindful March. And it's really helped me slow down, clear my mind, and really connect with myself in a deeper way. So, with that said, whether you're brand new to journaling or you've tried it before but never really found your flow or managed to stick with it, this episode will give you my thoughts and some practical ideas to make it easier and, let me just say it, joyful. So why journal? One of my favorite quotes by Rumi captures it so beautifully. The quieter you become, the more you are capable to hear. The quieter you become, the more you are able to hear. And for me, that's exactly what journaling does. It quietens my inner world and the busyness in my mind. So I'm really able to hear the whispers of my heart. And journaling is simply writing down your inner thoughts and feelings so you can understand them more clearly. You can create some distance from them. You can choose what you want to think when you actually see what you're thinking. Are they thoughts that serve you? Are they thoughts that keep you stuck? And it's a great practical way of getting out of your head and getting onto paper. And when I do that, things just become clearer. My mind becomes quieter. And I describe it like it's giving your busy mind a deep, calming breath. Right? We breathe, but in order to help your mind breathe, when you unpack what's going on within it, it just allows it to breathe. So, journaling is also a beautiful release, especially on those days when you're feeling low or confused or stuck in thoughts. You're feeling overwhelmed or frustrated, and it's such a great way of unpacking what's happening within. And you'll be amazed at how much lighter you feel after, just a few minutes, let's say 5 minutes with your journal and a pen. And that's why I call it the joy of journaling. Because for me, it's not a chore. It's not something I have to do on top of all the things that I have to do. It's a gift I give myself, and it's a gift that you can give yourself. And like all growth, it takes practice. For me, and what I would say is that journaling is simple, but it's not always easy to start and to stick with. But sometimes, and some days, the words will flow, other days they won't, and that's okay. The magic is in showing up for yourself. And the more you practice journaling, the more natural it becomes. And before you know it, you'll look forward to these quiet moments with your journal and your pen, because that's where the growth and the clarity and the joy comes from. So, how to journal and how I teach my clients. There are many ways. But I want to keep it simple for you. So today I'll walk you through 5 journaling practices I personally use, and as I say, I teach in my one-on-one coaching with my clients. So what I would invite you to do is listen and notice what resonates with you. And you can pick one or try them all. There's no right or wrong answer. There's no right or wrong practice. There's only what works for you. And the only way you'll know is by giving it a go. So, as I share these, as I say, notice what comes up for you, what resonates, and make a commitment to yourself that once you've heard this, you will take it away. So, number 1, the brain dump. This is the simplest way to journal. Just take a piece of paper and simply write whatever is on your mind. No filtering, no editing. Imagine emptying out all the messy thoughts, worries, to-do lists, whatever is taking up space in your mind. Just get it out onto paper. And I call it a brain dump because that's exactly what it feels like. Right? It literally feels like you are dumping all the thoughts from within out, and it feels good. You could try doing this first thing in the morning, just like give yourself 1 page and then just let your pen flow. And it creates space for new ideas and inspiration to come, and just connect with kind of where you're at and what's coming up for you. And honestly, this one practice alone can change how you feel and, detach from any heaviness that you may be feeling. And if you want some help with this one, I have got a free thought download tool that you are welcome to obtain. All you have to do is go to www.namishpatelowen.com, sign up for my weekly newsletter, and actually it's something that I include on there and you'll just get it straight into your inbox. So by all means, go ahead and grab it there, and if not, just drop me an email, support@namishpatelowen.com, and I will send it to you. And it's a lovely way to just have the page in front of you to do your brain dump. Number 2, ask yourself powerful questions. This style is more intentional and it helps you reflect and get clarity on something specific, a circumstance, a decision you are making, or something you're planning for, and you just get to make it tailor it specifically for your needs in the moment. And here are a few questions you can use and ask yourself. How do I feel right now? How do I want to feel? And this is in relation to the thing. So you write whatever the circumstance, the decision, the thing that you want to ask yourself questions about, or what you're journaling on, write that at the top of the page and then ask yourself these questions specific to that. So how do I want to feel? Another great question I ask my clients all the time: what's my next best move? What's my next best move? What is good about this? What is good about this? And it's really inviting you to see the good, because there will be some good in this situation, in the decision, or whatever it is. And the more you do this, like the more you ask yourself powerful questions, the more natural it becomes. And you can ask yourself any question, and you can journal even on the question. Like, what question do you want to ask yourself? What question is your brain offering you for you to answer? And this is a form of self-coaching, and you start coaching yourself through your journaling practice. So give it a go. You can ask just one question and then answer it, or you can ask yourself a couple of questions and answer those questions. But in answering those questions, what I would say is allow yourself at least 3 things to come up, to reflect on. So really sit with the question so that you get an element of depth and awareness that perhaps you didn't have before asking yourself that question. So yeah, pick a question, it could be anything, and see what comes up for you. And in this practice, you want to be approaching it from a place of curiosity. Right? The kids just ask why. I mean, that is an amazing question in itself. Just why? And then why? And then why? And there's another practice actually, which is called 7 levels deep. And you just keep asking yourself why, until you really get to the truth of what's going on here. And I mean, that in itself is a great question for you to ask, is that whatever the circumstance is or the scenario is, you can just ask yourself, what's really going on here, or what's truly happening here, for you to really understand a bit more of the depth behind what's going on for you. So yes, approach it with curiosity and compassion and grace and love, and see what comes up for you. Practice number 3 is what I call the growth bank. And I teach this a bit more in the program. And it's like a win list. And it's one of my clients' favorites. And it goes, I mean, you can do it any time of the day, but essentially at the end of each day or even each week, and that could be like your work day or like the end of your day, you write down your wins, big or small, and everything in between. Like, just write down your wins. And you could say your wow moments, and that's something I'm practicing with the kids at the moment, where we talk about our wow and our whoopsies, and we have a lovely conversation at the end of the day before the kids are going to bed in terms of what are our wow and whoops. And this is a bit like that, but this is really capturing, going in on your wins, because as high achievers, we often miss and don't acknowledge ourselves for the small wins. We're always on to the next thing and the next thing. And this practice really invites us to pause and notice all those small steps which lead to and are essential for the big win. But we have to bank them. And that's why I call this the growth bank. We have to bank them. It's like credit, building credit in the bank. Maybe you had a great conversation, maybe you connected with someone, you finished a project, or you did a 60-minute workout, you went for a 5K run, walk, you simply drank more water, like whatever it might be. You journaled, right? That is a win. You get to bank that. And this builds your confidence because you're focusing on what you're doing well and what's working and what's going right. And on those tough days, you can flick back and remind yourself just how far you've come. You can go back to your journal if you are practicing the growth bank, and you can really fill yourself up on all the growth items that you banked on previous days, and use that as your fuel on maybe the heavier days when it's needed. So that is the growth bank, writing down your wins, your wows. And I mean, you can capture your whoopsies as well, for sure, because there's learning in there for us. Number 4 is reflections is what I call it. And there's 3 specific questions to ask yourself here. And it's another tool that I teach inside my coaching. And it's like an evaluation tool. And the 3 questions, lots of W's here, is what went well. So WWW, what went well? And again, you pick the scenario or the thing that you want to reflect on, and you ask yourself what went well and journal on that. So like write down what comes up for you. And again, you want to capture at least 3 or 5 things, what went well. And then you ask yourself, what didn't work? Right? WDW, what didn't work? And again, 3 to 5 things. And then the final part of this is, what will I do differently? What will I do differently next time? What went well? What didn't work? What will I do differently next time? And you're capturing 3 to 5 things for each of those questions. And it's a simple structure for evaluating, as I say, a specific activity or task or project. You can do it for evaluating your day, your week, or, just something very, very laser focused and specific. And it keeps you learning and growing without spinning and overwhelm and frustration and judgment, and just keeping it quite constructive. And it's essential that you do it in that order, right? Because you want to fill yourself up first. You want to be seeing what's going well before you go into the what didn't work and do differently, so that you're approaching it from the right energy when you come up with that. And so your brain just gets on board with what didn't work without self-judgment and criticism and all the things. So that is number 4, my reflections journaling practice. And so practice number 5 is gratitude and goals. Did you know you can't feel grateful and stressed at the same time? I'm not sure who said that, but I definitely believe that and have witnessed that myself. But gratitude shifts our energy almost immediately. Like, because you're focusing on something you're grateful for and you just open your heart to it, your energy shifts no matter what's going on pretty much instantly. And so this is a practice you could do again each morning or at the end of the day, where you write down 3 to 5 things you're grateful for. And the key thing here is writing those things down, and they can be anything. They can be micro things you're grateful for or macro things. It can be the same every day. It can be different things every day. Like, you get to decide. But the key thing with this is that you take a moment to feel that gratitude. Right? You actually allow the gratitude, the sensation of gratefulness to come up in your body so that you feel into it. So don't rush and just write down your 3 to 5 things and, be done with it, because that's kind of step 1, which is great. But I would really invite you to take a moment to feel that gratitude, feel the love, feel the abundance, feel that gratefulness in your heart, in your body, so that it radiates. And once you're in that energy, write down your goals. Whatever your goals are in this moment, or whenever you're doing this practice, personal goals, professional goals, well-being goals, relationship goals, business goals, career goals, whatever it might be, when you're in that gratefulness, then write down your goals from a place of co-creating them. like it's done. So it's like end state. And this practice helps you focus on what matters most. And if you're doing it in the morning, it really allows you to start your day with high energy and confidence and abundance, and just open to receiving, like just a big heart. And that's just such a beautiful way to start the day. And it can take, again, 3 to 5 minutes. Like, it doesn't have to be longer than that. It can be on a post-it, it can be a scrap paper piece of paper, or it can be on a specific gratitude journal. Like, you decide. So that is practice number 5, gratitude and goals journaling practice. So I hope you took all that in. What came up for you? What resonated most? Practice one, if not more, of those, and just have a go and see how you get on. But here's some tips to start and to stick with when it comes to journaling. Because if you're wondering how to actually make this a habit and keep going with it, I wanted to just share a few simple tips. Number 1, when you're journaling, no matter what practice you're using, number 1, just write. And what I mean by that is forget spelling, forget grammar or neatness. It's not an essay. Nobody is marking this or seeing this. It's just for you. So there are no rules and no guidelines. Just write. Let your pen flow in its beautiful natural rhythm and let it just dance on the paper, right? Nothing fancy required. Number 2, try different styles. Right, and I've said it already. Pick one method from the practices that I've shared today, or another practice perhaps that you've come across, or mix and match what works for you. You might do a journaling practice in the morning, you might do a journaling practice at the end of the day, you might do a journaling practice at the end of the week. Like, experiment, give it a go, explore from a place of curiosity and see what feels good for you. And some days, as I say, I do a brain dump because I've got so much going on in my mind. I just need to get it out. And on a daily basis, I will practice my gratitude. And other days, I'm asking myself specific questions in order to create some clarity and deeper awareness. So let it be flexible, try different styles, and just stick with it. Number 3, include the highs and the lows. It's easy to focus on the negative because that is our default brain. Our brain is looking for risk and failure and pitfalls and setbacks and generally a bit of whinging and whining. And it's easy to focus on what's not working, right? What you haven't achieved yet, what there's still left to do, and how far behind we are. Classic thinking of high achievers. But make sure you're also capturing what's going well, right? Capture the highs, capture the achievements, capture the wins, capture the good things. Capture the wow moments, right? Capture those small little things and steps and progress that you have made, and remind yourself of these wins and how far you've come, and acknowledge yourself for it, right? Share it with others, like do it in your journaling for sure, but bring it to life, talk about it with your loved ones, your friends, your colleagues, from a place of giving yourself credit. So include all of it, no filtering and no judgment. Number 4, find your time. All right, I've said it before, I've said it already. Whether that's morning, whether that's evening, end of the week, during the day, on a walk, like whatever it is, whenever works best for you. And it might not be the same on every given day, that's fine. But I'm a strong believer of routine and structure, and that personally works for me. And so when I just tune into something, my brain just gets on board because that's the time that I do it, and I do it without too much resistance and too much planning, and don't have to think about it, and I just do it. And I love, for me, like journaling in the morning when my mind is fresh, which just sets me up for my day. And I also love journaling at night to let go of the day. So I religiously, or I say consistently, have those two practices, like morning journaling and nighttime journaling. And I have a specific journal next to my bedside counter, and in there I will journal, and sometimes it's following some specific questions, 3 things I'm grateful for, 3 things that I learned about myself today, 3 things that I will do differently tomorrow, and 3 things I want to let go of from today. And that just releases all of it and allows me to go to bed without taking it to bed. So find your time, find what feels good for you, so that you can practice journaling. Number 5, don't overthink it. Don't overthink journaling, right? I know I've been going on for at least 30 minutes already, but don't overthink it. Start small. Even 5 minutes a day is super powerful and will give you so much insight and growth. And just do it, is what I would say, right? Just do it. Like, do it as soon as you're done here. Just journal and see what comes up for you. And finally, number 6, make it fun. This is about you for you, right? This is for your growth and who you're becoming. Make it fun, right? Treat yourself to a journal and a pen you love. Buy a notebook. Doesn't have to be fancy. It could be fancy. It's totally up to you. Buy some colourful pens. I don't know, some stickers, like whatever. If that makes it fun for you and it makes the process more enjoyable, and in doing so, I promise the more you do it, the more you'll want to do it, and it will just become habitual, like brushing your teeth. And I promise you, like, that is the same. I know the days when I have not journaled because I'm just stuck in my head versus I've just had an opportunity to unpack and to see what's happening for me on the inside, to acknowledge myself, to express some gratitude, to send some love to some people, and to just disconnect with anything I need to disconnect with, but also connect with something I want to connect with. So, you get an element of clarity, but you also get an element of focus and connection. So there you have it. They are my tips to get you started and hopefully allowing you to stick with journaling. So that's the joy of journaling. You know why it's important to journal. You know how to journal and the 5 practices that I shared, and maybe any other journaling practices that you have come across. And you have some simple tips to get started and to hopefully help you stick with. So I'd love to hear how you get on. Feel free to message me, support@namishpatelowen.com, and share your journaling wins. And I mean, a fun practice might even be, to begin with, depending on how you feel about journaling. And I know this sounds a bit circular, but you might want to journal on journaling, right? So on the top of your page, you can literally just put journaling, and you can do a brain dump, unpack your thinking about journaling, and just let it flow, because you may have some thoughts about journaling that you need to unpack, you need to see, and either let go of or lean into to help you become someone who journals. Thank you for being here today. If this episode resonates with you and sparked something for you, let me invite you to share it with a friend or colleague who would benefit from hearing my thoughts about journaling, to help them also lean into this beautiful practice and concept, and lean into and experience the joy of journaling. Now, if you're open to it, I'd love to invite you to grab a pen and your notebook right here, right now. Take the next 5 minutes just for you to journal generally, or on something specific that you're experiencing right now. I'll leave the music playing in the background, and when it finishes, you'll know your 5 minutes are up. And as you sit with your journal, remember, your heart knows the way. Run in that direction. Enjoy this moment. Happy journaling. Until next time, keep shining your light, and may you always live your true self. Namaste. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Live Your True Self podcast. If you're ready to go deeper into your spiritual growth journey, visit me at www.namishapatelowen.com to learn more about my work and how I can support you. And be sure you're signed up for Monday Mindset Mail, your weekly love note to inspire who you're being while you're doing. And come join my free community, Namaskara with Namisha, over on YouTube, an invitation to grow and connect as we walk this path together. It's an honour to guide you in reconnecting with who you truly are. Bye for now.